Welcome back. I only have been up for about 10, 15 minutes, so forgive me if you seem a little disheveled, but I want to get this in my What If for tomorrow pre-recorded because I got to work some unique hours tomorrow, and I'm working all day today, so I'm not going to have a lot of time to do any videos. But I still got a couple hours before I go. With that being said, saw Conjuring Rites last night. Now, I did my theater review. This is going to be mostly me parroting a bit what I said there with a little add-ons. Like, there's not much I can add, but I can add a little bit. But like I said in that review, my history with the Conjuring films has been a little sporadic. I saw the first one, really liked it. I saw both Nun movies, actually like those a lot. I mean, they're not amazing, they're not perfect movies, no, but I do like those movies. But I didn't see any of the other Conjuring sequels. I didn't see Annabelle or Annabelle 2. I didn't see La Llorona, which apparently was involved with the Conjuring universe, which no one actually, they didn't do a good job at advertising that. So I saw, but I'm like, all right, this is the only real movie coming out this week anyway. I do like the franchise. I don't hate horror. I just don't normally dig on horror. I will say, look, I do want to see the Black Phone 2 when it came out. We got a new trailer for that attached to this. I'm like, they're going Freddy Krueger on this, and you know what? I'm not upset about the ripoff. It actually makes sense for that world. So, with that said, I went in. My thoughts are pretty much they haven't changed since last night. I like the film. It's a good film. Look, the whole story of the Warrens is very interesting. We do have to take into consideration that not everything happened exactly as it happened in these stories, due to the fact that obviously Hollywood, you gotta what's the word I'm looking for here? Embellish to entertain. But that being said, and beyond that, like we know for a fact, like I believe they did go to that case in what was it? The Conjuring, was it The Devil Made Me Do It? Where they dealt with like the crooked man and the nun, but the nun was a fabrication. The nun character never existed in the Warrens case files. This was something that was actually made for Hollywood. But like dealing with like the whole crooked man thing or whatever the spirit was for that was real. So there's always got to be embellishment when we're dealing with this. So however this last case actually went down, is up for interpretation. I'm sure there might be actual files on, like they obviously did case files on all their they took notes on all their cases. We know this. So how it ultimately went down is up for their kids to know, and up for the people who still have access to those to know. But with that said, take the embellishing out of the equation, it still does what the Conjuring series does effectively. It still gives you characters you care about. It actually has some laughs in here too, like some legitimate laughs. But it gives us these characters you still care about and puts them in the situation where you're not sure if they're going to make it out in one piece or not. I mean, we know the Warrens survived in the end, regardless, so we know they're not going to they're not going to be killed. But we don't know what state they're going to come out of. And like these film series still do a really good job at that. I will say that like the story, the Warrens themselves are present throughout the story of this movie, but they do not get involved in like what's going on till like the very last quarter of the movie, because the movie itself is deceptively a little long. Despite the fact that it's only 1 hour and 35, I'm sorry, 135 minutes, that does put it at an hour and 15 minutes. And I'm watching this film, and I'm not like tapping my foot or anything, but at some point I did kind of become aware of like, wow, this is long. Like, I don't know if the other films were quite that long. I think the original one was in the 2 hour range, but like, it still was not, let me rephrase that sentence. It didn't feel long. I didn't look at my phone or anything, but by the time we got out, I looked at my phone, looked at the time, like, it was that long? So it was just kind of weird in that sense. But yeah, the Lords don't come in to deal with the problem until the very last act of the movie. they're, as they kind of show in the trailer, they're more or less retired at this point from actually doing that part of their job. Ed's apparently has heart issues. They're not trying to they're trying just to enjoy their lives, but they still have a daughter, and their daughter has psychic abilities inherited by the mother. We actually open on, because this is based on the first case that he ever had. We actually opened on the first case and like the birth of their daughter, and what that ultimately kind of comes down at, them having to kind of face their demons, pun intended. So it's well, I'm trying to remember where I was just going with that thought. Forgive me. Like I said, it's early. It's one of those. It's one of those movies where it's not really doing anything wrong in the way it's handling. It's like in the way it's handling the story. It's not doing anything wrong with its scares. In fact, I mean, there are some definitely there's definitely some good scares in here. That said, if I'm gonna, it ends in a very nice spot, like all these films do, hope, faith, all that stuff. But if I am going to raise a complaint that I raised, and I can elaborate on now in the first review, this film suffers, I think, because again, we do not know how much of this is actually true or just based on the story. It's like, oh, they had a final case. It had nothing to do with this. Their daughter wasn't involved or anything, but we had a final case. Let's assume for a moment that none of this is true. And let's assume for a moment that it's more the latter than the former, where most of this is just made up for Hollywood based off of the last case. Okay, for two characters that have psychic medium abilities to commune and see the other world, the Vera Farmiga, Lorraine, and her daughter Judy are making some of the dumbest decisions characters like them could make right now. Because we see early on they're both experiencing things, and they're and you see in the trailer shot where she sees like a hand on her daughter's shoulder, and she's like, oh no, nothing's wrong. The daughter later sees how a friend of theirs died, and she doesn't bother telling her mother this. It's like, you didn't tell your mother? It's like, no, she's just gonna worry. Yeah, because you're in a house with evil spirits and a demon. You should worry. Like, I get it's normal human behavior to try to just ignore things and hope they go away. I do get that. I'm not blind on that. I'm not. But like, there's a limit to how much like lack of rational thinking I can take. And I'm not gonna lie, honestly, the daughter character did that a lot in the movie. Did that a lot. I don't know what honestly, weirdly enough, the actress looked like and reminded me of Francis Ford Coppola's like niece, was it? From Godfather 3. I can't remember her, Sofia Coppola. not quite in terms of acting, and she was a better actress than her, but I got a weird vibe from that. But more to the point, like, there's just, it's not, they do this multiple times in the movie until we get to the end. It's like, no, we got to learn our lesson. We can't Frozen this. That's the whole problem. The moral that they're trying to go with is go the Frozen route. Conceal, don't feel kind of bullshit. And then at the end, it's like, oh no, we should be feeling. Like, oh God. Like, it hurts. It's because honestly, the daughter, quite frankly, doesn't actually serve a real narrative purpose. Because again, my guess is the whole demon wanting the daughter thing was a fabrication for Hollywood. I don't know that for a fact. I've never read any of the Lawrence case files. But it does seem like something that was designed more by Hollywood than whatever the final case was. But maybe I'm wrong on that. But either way, like, she's a MacGuffin, kind of, but she's she isn't actually doing anything important. She's just kind of there and having experiences like the rest of them. But then she only comes into play near the end, like at the very end. It's not like she's actually helping at all. Um, so it's just like, let me put it this way. I was so uninvested because I knew immediately when we saw like the whole origin with the daughter and the fact that he spares where the story plot with her was going. I knew immediately where it was going. And sure enough, it went there. But let me put it this way. Here's how uninvested I was in this character. And again, nothing to do with the actress, per se. It's the character. I'm like, you shouldn't be here. Your mom and dad are completely right. You should not be here. Like, they should be here. They should be helping these people. But, and they're kind of getting drawn into it. Like, oh, no, we're retired. We don't want to be here. Like, by the way, I will point out, they actually go, because the daughter goes to the house to try to help these people however she can. The parents come to get her. The famed paranormalist, exorcist, all that, walk into this troubled family's house. These people are begging for help. And you're like, no, we can't. Sorry. No, we're retired. Like, I'm not going to lie. Lorraine, Ed, kind of a dick thing to do. Like, you can't just dangle the carrot of hope in their face and be like, oh, no, this is our carrot. You can't have that. No, I mean, just saying. But beyond that, there's a scene involving her going up into an attic, which I'm like forward fucking thinking, come on. You're like, no, just stay away from the, like, I'm looking at, I see the attic doors up and she's hearing her mom's voice. And I'm like, well, that's a big no. That's a big no. Why would mom be in the attic? The minute you see your mom's not in the attic, leave the attic. But no, I must investigate. I sense it. I sense this mirror. I'm like, and then I will, and then, I'm not going too much. It goes, instead of being a Conjuring movie, it turns a little bit into an It movie for about 30 seconds, involving this hallucination sequence she has with Annabelle. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, and Annabelle still, like every Conjuring movie, makes a little bit of a cameo. In fact, she makes a few cameos. She's not an integral part of the film. She's not even really a part of the film, but because of the trauma their daughter does have with Annabelle, she does occasionally hallucinate Annabelle, which I do think is funny and kind of creepy. Like, Annabelle, at least the way they're portraying her, it's still creepy. It's still a creepy looking doll, particularly if there's a shot of her in a rocking chair that we see. And that itself is actually well done and kind of creepy. But yeah, then the next one, without giving too much weight, goes very much into like Stephen King's It, like the movie versions of them. I'm like, and this is hilarious, actually. This is stupid, but it's hilarious. But here's my problem. I'm watching it, and I literally just go, oh my God. And I just take my glasses off for like almost the majority of the scene. Not to avoid the scares, but because I'm just like, I don't care about this plot at all. You want to know the truth? This movie could have been about 15 minutes shorter if you just cut out half the stuff with the daughter. I get the daughter has to be there, so just cut off maybe out a little bit of the stuff with the daughter. And like that entire scene, quite frankly, not needed. Apart from the fact that her finding the mirror in the attic is important. That was about it. And frankly, you could have just had one of the family members do that instead, and I would have been at least a little bit. I would have been more invested. I don't know. The daughter character just, from a decision-making standpoint, bothers the hell out of me. I hate when characters who have stuff going on with them, and they should be bringing it up to the people who can help them, don't do it. I hate that. And they shouldn't, and they know they should be bringing it up, and they don't do it. I hate characters like that. I really do, because I'm like, well, this is all becoming worse because you're not talking to the people who can actually help. Anyway, and like I said in the previous, short out of the theater one last night, always trust the dog. Always trust the dog. That's what that Good Boy movie's about. I don't want to see Good Boy because I don't want to know if the dog, because I don't want to, I don't trust that the dog's going to live or not. And B, I don't want to see a dog in peril, unfortunately. Now I'll spoil it right now. The dog does live in this. Unlike in the first Conjuring, the dog does live in this. Which, thank God, because there's a moment where I thought the dog didn't. I'm like, ah! I'm like, no! Good boy, no! But no, the dog didn't make it. But always trust the dog. The minute that mirror came in out, that dog is barking his ass off of it. Take note. If you bring something into your house and your dog is going apeshit over it, and I mean apart from a person, but even then, a person sometimes. But if you bring in like an inanimate object home and your dog is going apeshit over it, get rid of the object. Just get rid of it. Burn it. Flee. Chain letter that shit. I don't care. Anyway, I digress. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Trailers we got, like I said, we got the newest trailer for Black Phone 2, where again, they decided to go the Freddy Krueger approach, and I'm kind of, look, is that a Freddy Krueger ripoff? Yeah, no, they're going Freddy Krueger, kind of, but it makes sense for this world. It does. So, I'm here for it. They found a way to bring Ethan Hawke back, which was the best part of the first one. What are some of the other what ones we got? Movies we got. It's a good question. By the way, I do like the fact that they're also playing the rooster in that trailer. And found a way to kill me. No, got a full trailer. I got another trailer for The Long Walk, which I'm seeing that next week. That's going to be a good time. And I'm looking for the Smashing Machine coming out soon. I can't remember when the Smashing Machine comes out, but it comes out soon. It comes out this month. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. I'm looking forward to that too, actually. But we didn't get. Oh no, we didn't get him either. What did we get? We didn't get the Strangers. Bone Like Killing Fate. Nope. Tron. Nope. Soul Fire. Nope. Black Phone 2. Yes. We got Avatar 3. Waiting for the new trailer, but look, it's a good looking trailer, Avatar 3. We got like 6 trailers. We didn't get Predator, which I was a little surprised about. I would have thought we would have gotten the Predator Badland trailer. Keeper, Trap House, Wicked for Good, David, Eternity, Five Nights at Freddy's. Didn't get that, no. I'm hoping that they are in fact, by the way, filming Anaconda right now, and that we do get that for Christmas. That's a completely different thing. I think maybe a couple of the trailers we got are for going into next year. But I can't recall what the other ones are. Not that it's a big, huge deal at the moment for trailers. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Later.